Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. The only live show that will chronicle everything that you could ever see. Welcome to March 1982. We last played Colossal Adventure, our very first BBC micro game. And we actually need to go back because someone helped me out and got us another game. We had a 2-pack back here with Zombies and the Sword of Peace that was on the ZX81, and we didn't have Sword of Peace, but now we do. So thank you again, Paul, for bringing us Sword of Peace on the ZX81 released right at the end of February 1982. And as usual on the ZX81, we need to run and new line. Do you need instructions? Oh yes, I was very wrong. Sword of Peace is not an adventure game or an interactive fiction. So yes, please give us instructions. You are the Crown Prince of Oz. I don't know if it's related to Wizard of Oz. And to prove that you are worthy of becoming the Monarch of Oz, you are sent on a quest to find Dorothy and the Tin Man. You are cast into a dungeon where you must find 4 objects of state. Each object of state is 1 paving stone and a 100 by 100 floor. This stone is called the Magic Spot. On your travels, you'll meet monsters. They will either be good, neutral, or evil. Okay. Evil monsters will try to kill you by casting spells on you which weaken you. Neutral monsters will act as either good or evil. Good monsters will do good. The first one you meet will give you a distance meter which will tell you how far you're away from the magic spot. The second will give a compass which will read -1, 0, 1 in the direction. 1, 1 means you should move positive in the XY. Wow, okay, so they're really hitting on knowing your coordinates to where you need to go in the game. Further, good monsters will increase your strength or teach you spells. When you meet a bad monster, you'll be asked for a spell number. Initially, you know spells 1, 2, and 3 only, and 0 is run away. To move, when given the Q direction, you run away, enter the X coordinate, and then the Y coordinate. So I think this is all text-based, or there must be a parser for this, because I don't think they're giving us graphics if they're having us putting in coordinates. If you hit a wall or lose 10% of your strength, objects of state may be used to kill certain monsters, but can only be used if you have a 10% chance of failure. Man, that's a lot of text. Yeah, and there's our spells. So 0 is 1 away, but you got 14 different spells you can do. So typing spell gives you a summary for it. And on playtesting, this is sometimes what I got, where it just turned into a white screen, and then I'm like, okay, did the game crash? Darn. And we got nothing. So we did get Sword of Peace, at least the instructions. We'll give it one more shot, because now I'm intrigued. I really thought it was just an interactive fiction, but no, it is more. Let's see if it crashes again. You only get 2 strikes here. We'll go through instructions. And typically games that were played on cassette, oh, it didn't run for us. That's too bad. But we did get the instructions, kind of a more in-depth of what Sword of Peace is. But still, I'm going to hold with the 1.5-star rating for the combo pack of Zombies and Sword of Peace. So far for me, Zombies still is the better one of the two. And with that, let's see where we left off, and pressing forward after Colossal Adventure, we're now going to the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Crazy Thief. Let's take a look at Crazy Thief. Starting with artwork, looks like we just have a few screenshots, no box. Let's pop in and play Crazy Thief. Published by Mers, beginning of March 1982. So this is by Johann and Franz. Way to go, Johann and Franz. Let's see if a keyboard or joystick is needed for this one. Looks like nothing's happening on the joystick, so we'll give keyboard a shot. Oh yeah, keyboard commands. Looks like AWD, X, up, down, left, right, and then F5 to jump. That's bizarre. Haven't seen that yet. And looks like you can jump in different directions. So B for beginner, C for champion, and then it's going through an attract mode like we're playing a... Yeah, it looks like it's German. Fallbrück and Münz. I had this tagged as Europe, but you can see parts of it are in English. Score, high score. All right, so let's see what we can do. Hit B for beginner. Oh, it's in. Yeah, they're doing like an arcade game. And I'm here. No way, is this like a platformer? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm the white dot at the bottom. I'm using the keyboard commands. Joystick didn't work, but I can move around and jump. So this is me moving and jumping on a platformer. I believe this is the very first time you could jump on a platformer on the Commodore VIC-20 with this game. So you make your way up the ladder, and then you have to... Oh, I see. They have parts that fall off the side. So if I cross this one, it's going to go away, and then I have to jump to the other... Oh, and there's fall damage? If you fall off the side, that's it. You're dead. Whoever invented fall damage, they need to go to jail. There's no reason for that. All right, let's try this again. Walk across, then make the jump. So up the ladder, and it looks like we're just picking up. I'm the thief, so I'm making my way around, collecting everything. And if you fall off the side, then you die. But they give us a little ditty, so it's like a hidden Commodore VIC-20 arcade game that we're playing. The sound effects for the jumping's pretty cool. Can I even make that across? I don't know. We'll go to the other side. And F5 for jump is just bizarre. Make our way down here. And can I jump and climb? I cannot. Okay, so we go back on this side, come up to the top, and then I'll make my way across. This platform looks like I got something over here. And fall to my death. And it does the lives, which is represented by KOM. I'm not sure what that would represent if it is truly in German. Let's see if we can do it again. Yeah, you can go right into the game, pushing B. And by the way, this is the beginner mode that we're doing. So it's also, in a sense, because the platforms are disappearing, it gives a slight puzzle feel to it, like a platform puzzler. Can I go up? Oh, nice, and it scrolls to another floor. This one's a little bit easier to see, but you can see, can I even climb this? I don't think so. Well, it doesn't have joystick control. It's pretty intuitive having the W, A, D, and X keys to move around the four directions, and then F5 is bizarre for jump, but, you know, I'm making it work, and it's still really, really fun. This is still a really fresh idea. You have to know how far you can jump, too. Okay, that is surprising. Crazy Thief is surprisingly good. Of all the games we've seen up to this point, it's not average. I'd say 3.5 stars for Crazy Thief. So just slightly above average. Way to go. A first jumping platformer on the Commodore VIC-20. Very fun. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. We're next going to the Apple II. This is Crime Stopper. Let's take a look at the box for Crime Stopper. Oh, it looks serious. The Hijacked Heiress Caper. An original adventure. And it looks like we're playing as a private detective. Yeah, I like the graphics weren't super fancy, but gameplay was really fun. All right, let's flip it over on the back. Time runs out at midnight. It's 9 a.m. And your phone's ringing. Al Club's private eye. The woman's name is Carte Blanche Sizemore. And she's screaming. She's got a reason to scream. She's been kidnapped. Her mother wants her back. The media's on your back, and you only got till midnight to find her. Oh, this is nice. So we're playing a most likely interactive fiction game as a detective. An original adventure. Let's see if you have any other artwork for Crime Stopper. Just the 5 1/4 floppy disk for Apple II. I don't know for sure if this was released on other ones, but the first time we've ever seen it. That's all we got for artwork. Let's pop in and play some Crime Stopper. Released sometime in the beginning of March 1982. I like the idea when text adventure games give us something, another medium. So now we get to play a private detective probably in the 30s, 40s, hopefully. So this is by Dan Kitchen, story by Barry Marks. Way to go, Dan and Barry. We're very slowly getting developers, multiple developers, not just one person we can claim they did the game. We're now getting 2 people that work on the game, and we've already seen teams of people, but it's getting bigger and bigger. You are Al Clubs, grandson of a famous detective in another era, another suit. You come from a long line of private investigators, and you seem to have inherited your family's ability to sniff out trouble. In fact, it almost seems to sniff you out. Maybe it's your cologne. Today, December 31st, you've arrived at your dingy office the same way you do every day. Late. You just can't get out of your equally dingy apartment at the 10th Avenue and 90th Street fast enough to make the train. Dan Kitchen is familiar. I believe he changed names. If Dan Kitchen sounds familiar, yeah, he is a popular developer. So be on the lookout. We will be seeing more of him. Your secretary, Miss Hempel, has a next couple of days off, and it's all it would take for the office to fall apart. There's so much paperwork to be done. If you can just make a dent in it. Blanche Cartier Sizemore is who we're going to be getting a call from, I guess. All right, so pressing return to start. That was the slightly short intro for the game. We've seen way more lore that breaks down what the beginning of the game is. If we're a detective, though, we want to know. Okay, we begin. You're in your office on the 3rd floor of the console. What is that? Oh, is the phone ringing? Answer phone. No way. A trembling female voice on the other end begins talking quickly and immediately. Mr. Clubbs, you've got to help me. A loud clanking sound in the background punctuates her frenzy, and you have a hard time understanding her. I'm in trouble, Mr. Clubbs. There's no time to lose. They are coming to get me. Help me. She screams, and the line goes dead. Okay, looks like we got a telegram. Let's get that telegram. Okay, and then read it. Al Clubbs, I require your services. Stop. Strictly confidential matter. Stop. Come to the lobby of the Sizemore building, 2nd Avenue and 50th Street. Stop. Come immediately. Stop. Well, I guess everything's okay. If she says come immediately and then we can stop, then we'll be all right. Millicent Hyacinth Sizemore. So this must be the mother that wants, because her daughter just got kidnapped, and we just talked to her over the phone. Okay, so what happens if we go east? The silver gate is closed. Open gate. Now we go east. I'm just using our normal cardinal directions for interactive fiction. You're just able to keep your balance, but it isn't easy. The platform's very wobbly, and it sounds as if another bolt is snapped. You don't have the greatest view because of the large buildings around you, and because of the cheap rent you pay. The ladder beside you leads up to the roof. Climb ladder. Which direction? Up? I'm just using the normal controls we're used to seeing on the interactive fiction games. As you climb, the wind begins to blow a little harder. This may not have been a good idea after all. To the east and southeast, you can see parts of the city's rich section. Above you is the edge of the roof, and a couple of cooing pigeons are perched there. So already off the bat, this is a very exceptional interactive fiction game. Plus the period that you're playing in, and that you're as a detective, you have a goal to play in the game. It's not the usual let's go get gold and come back for points kind of thing. Yes, we're going way back in time. At least this one feels like the 30s. All right, so if we're all the way on the roof, I don't know if this is the way we need to go. Let's go back down. We'll climb back down the ladder and then go back west. Can we go west? I don't know if we'll fall off the tie. All right, so we're in the office, 3rd floor of the Consolidated Acme building. In front of you is an old scratched wooden desk, been seen better days. To the east is a window with a silver gate drawn across it. In one corner of the room is an empty coat rack. In another, a TV set with a broken antenna. On the desk is a dusky black telephone. To the south is a door. So we'll go south. So it looks like the gate just let us outside. And now we're in the office of of your secretary, Miss Hempel. 3 file cabinets are immaculately arranged on one side of the room, and her desk in the center is spotless. On the other side of the room is a half-full water cooler. The north and south are doorways. A picture hangs on the wall here. So this prose that they're writing in for this style is really good for 1982. This really reminds me of an Infocom release, which we're going to be checking out. We've already seen, I think, only one Zork, and we're going to be seeing others that really hit in 1982, and this really is what it reminds me of. So there's a quick sample of Crime Stopper for the Apple II, and I'd say of all the games we've seen to this point, it's still around the average, maybe slightly above average. You really can't tell too much because these are the kind of games that you have to play all the way through to see how the puzzles play, how much the computer understands for you to play. But I'd say from what we've seen at this point, 3.5 stars definitely for Crime Stopper. Excellent. All right, now that's pretty good for a Apple II interactive fiction game that's not Infocom. Let's press forward and see our next game. All right, now it's time to go to the Atari home computer. This is Curse of the Pharaoh, a very hard to come by game. This one I can only have a few screenshots, so no artwork, no manual. We're just going to pop in and play Curse of the Pharaoh. This is by Peter Kirsch, Softside Publications. In the beginning of March 1982, Softside took people kind of like APX, but not as professionally published. It was a magazine publication, so this is possibly a type-in game. Oh, and it's another interactive, graphic adventure game. You're in a desert, a starlit night. There's a pyramid. Go pyramid. Oh man, they really let you know you can't type that or it doesn't work. All right, how about enter pyramid? Oh no, they don't understand? Okay, look again. What does it say? You don't understand? Look? Nah, we're in big trouble then. All right, how about north? Can't go north. South. Oh, we can go south. We're in a desert. I feel like the beginning adventure games just want you to be lost in a desert. We've seen that since the Sierra games. We get into a desert, and you're going to be lost in the desert. Okay, go back north. Oh, no. Now we're really lost in the desert. West. Are we in the back side of the pyramid? Okay, no, we're back in the front. All right, so how do you get inside this thing? If that's... What about east? So all directions around the pyramid? Looks like it doesn't... And you're just lost in the desert. Great. Oh, wait. There's a flashlight here. Get flashlight. You don't understand get? No way. Take flashlight. Pick flashlight. I'm spelling it correctly. And it did say there's a flashlight here. So, without going any further, I'm just going to say Curse of the Pharaoh is a big fat hunk of broken. If I can't type those things in, I want to say we're down in not even the 1 star. I guess it functions as a broken game. We'll say 1 star for Curse of Pharaoh, though, but it's broken. If anyone wants to school me properly, let me know, because I can find any walkthroughs on this one. And with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Still hanging out with the Atari home computer, this is David's Midnight Magic. Another very impressive video pinball game. Yes, go to the arcades, play Donkey Kong instead. So, in the world of video pinball, this one is the one that's competing with Bill Budge's Raster Blaster as which one's the best video pinball you could play. We'll be the judge. Let's take a look at the artwork, starting with the box. David's Midnight Magic is by Broderbund. David Snyder did this one. Way to go, David. High res pinball, I might add. Flip it over in the back, and it gives you instructions on to play. It's 1, 2, 3, or 4 players, alternating, of course. You press the paddle button and then leave attract mode, so it runs like you're playing in the arcade, a pinball game. Paddle control dials the launching spring tension, and a button fires the ball. And then it says for point values, 3 bonus points, 4 button left target. So it's breaking down every one of the points for the video pinball. And then we have magnets that can save the ball to be lost on the side. This one, I believe, is based on a real-life pinball machine called the Midnight Machine or Magic Machine. And I think that's why I say David's, because, you know, David's turning it into a video pinball game. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Kicking the ball through the loop in the lower corner increases bonus multiplier. So, yeah, lots of information on the back of the box. And then we have also an advertisement flyer. Remember how much fun old pinball machines used to be? Well, the magic is back. David's Midnight Magic. Could keep you entranced all night long, but remember your curfew. Out in the arcades, back home by 10, Mom says. Yeah, not anymore. Everyone's going to start going home. Well, I shouldn't say that. In 1982, you were still in the arcades. The arcades were still way on top. I believe right now, in 1982, the arcade industry is worth about $8 billion. So, David's Midnight Magic by David Snyder. And we also have some really cool artwork. Yes, look at that. Playing on the paddle controls for the Atari. Love it. All right, so here we go. We're going to pop in and play some David's Midnight Magic by Broderbund sometime in the beginning of March 1982. Now, we already played the other one by Bill Budge, Raster Blaster, and it was pretty impressive. That would be one of the best pinball games we've ever seen, but we haven't played this one. The first one was on the Apple II, but we sadly missed it. So this is the very first time playing David's Midnight Magic. Yes, let's go. And I'm using the Atari paddles to play this one. Yes. We want to play with one person. There we go. So one player, here we go. All right, just feeling what the controls are, but the physics looks fantastic. Well, now the ball's falling straight down. Wow, yeah, it looks really good. And we played also Raster Blaster on the Atari. This looks really close, but it has no... As far as I know, they didn't share any secrets for the physics of the ball, but it looks really, really good. And also have 2 sets of paddles, which is really nice. I didn't see it advertised that it does the multi-ball, because I know Raster Blaster had that where several balls were coming down. But you can see the speed of this game is very smooth. My pinball skills are not super impressive. The game, though, is very nice. Can I keep going? Oh, it allows me to go. Okay, let's keep going. It's actually surprising. Of all the video pinball we've played so far, this one's responding and playing so well that I want to get better at it. Yeah, get the timing down, because we honestly, most of the video pinballs we played have not been amazingly responsive, or physics feels a little off. But this feels actually better than Nintendo's pinball or Pinbot that's released way later. So extremely impressive. And I like the double flippers. So nice. Yeah, there we go. So there's David's Midnight Magic. I'm going to say it's still up there with the one we played by Bill Budge. Fantastic. So above the average for sure. We'll say 3.5 stars for David's Midnight Magic. It really depends on your mileage of video pinball. How big of a video pinball fan are you? If you love it, then you obviously be rating this way higher. But of the two big ones, yeah, we're both saying 3.5 stars, above average for both Raster Blaster and David's Midnight Magic. Excellent. All right, so that was David's Midnight Magic. Let's see what our next game is. It's an Atari computer kind of night. This is Dice Poker for the Atari 800. Let's take a look at Dice Poker. We don't have any artwork or box for this one except the 5 1/4 floppy disk. Oh, we have the manual, though. So this is by APX, another one. Let's see if the manual tells us what Dice Poker is if you haven't figured it out already. Atari Program Exchange. Looks a lot like the front of the Texas Instruments or the IBM games. It looks like software instead of a game. So this is by Bob Polero. Way to go, Bob. Way to go, Bob. So Dice Poker is, I believe it's just Dice Poker. I'm going to see if the manual has anything that can tell us that we don't know about Dice Poker. If you ever played, if you're familiar with poker, it's a gambling game using dice. So 1 to 4 player, okay, combining strategy and luck, consists of 13 rounds of play. In each round, you roll 5 dice up to 3 times to obtain 13 scoring combinations like aces, 3 of a kind, full house. You must select a combination each turn. Even if your score is 0 points, you've chosen all 13 combinations by the end of 13 rounds. Dice Poker displays your running score as well as bonus points for earning 5 of a kind. Okay, yeah, so for the most part, it's this Dice Poker. If you bought it, you knew you were getting into. So we got a cassette or disc version. 24K for the disc is what we'll be playing on. And then, okay, how to get started. Loading it up, we don't need to know that. And then it breaks down scores. Wait a second, you can save your scores to disk? Nice. That's awesome. Love it. All right, well, that'll be the only thing positive I could say about Dice Poker. Let's pop in and play Dice Poker. This is by Bob Polero. APX, beginning of March 1982. What's it going to be like? How well does it play? Because if it has an interface that uses the Atari joystick, I always say that's a plus. Poker dice. I thought we were playing Dice Poker. All right, we'll push start on our computer. Nice. It works. The Atari VCS joystick allows me to select how many players I want. So let's go 1 player. Smashing the red button, and then we're in. It rolls dice for us, and then we can either roll or score. So this one would be a pair. Or is it 2? And then roll it up. And you can keep, I think, rolling 3 different times, but you're trying to get, okay, there's 3 of a kind, so let's do that. I am not a master of Dice Poker, but this is the idea. This is pretty much what the game is. The fact that it uses the joystick, though, is a nice touch. I'll give it that. So there you go. That's Dice Poker for the Atari home computer. I would say of all the games we played, casino games, we really don't rate them super high because It depends if you want to play a casino game. But for dice poker, I still say it runs relatively well. Plays relatively well, especially with 4-player capability. It would be alternating play if you had 4 people. Yeah, I'll say 2.5 stars for dice poker. Sorry, your rating changed, Chiptune. 2.5, no 2. Throw out all the ratings. Love to see them in chat. All right, now let's see where we're going after dice poker. We're still on the Atari. This is Earthquake San Francisco 1906. Let's take a look at the box for Earthquake San Francisco by Jim Pearson. Yes, he's brought up some really good interactive fiction games. This is another one of his other venture, or number 4 of his other venture series. Let's flip it over on the back. It looks like every other Adventure International release. Yeah, definitely. Can you survive? On April 19th, 1906 at 5:18 a.m., one of the most violent earthquakes of modern times decimated metropolitan San Francisco. Jim Pearson, author of Escape from Tram and Curse of Crowley Manor, and I also believe Jim Pearson was the one that wrote the Let's Go to Hell to Kill Hitler. So this should be interesting. At least the writing might be. And over on the left side, the program parameters break down how long it's going to take to complete, what the age group is. Classification, they still call it a compu novel here on Adventure International. And this one is really difficult to find a walkthrough for, because when you look up Earthquake San Francisco 1906, they think you mean the history, not the video game. And this is on Atari, so if we take a look at the artwork, Atari had 2 different boxes. I'm going to break them both down here because another one was released in England in 1986. And so we are not going to be covering that. We're going to do it all here because it's an identical game. But here's the other box that you would have seen in England, released by A1, I believe. They just called it Earthquake, but it's the exact same game. And then the back of the box we saw before. And here's the back of the box in the UK. Really similar story. Yeah, they have the same thing that the Adventure International does. But notice how it doesn't say anything of the original, except down at the bottom. It says that it was originally released in the USA by Adventure International, but this box would have been 1986, and I wouldn't want to be playing this in 1986 with all the other games you could have been playing. we asked those questions and more on, I can't remember the title off the top of my head, but when you go to hell to kill Hitler, yeah, fun times. And this is the cassette tape that you would have had in 1986. By Prism Leisure Corporation. And we got the manual. This is the one, again, for in England. So they give you the same hints and tips of how to play. Draw a map as you go. There's lots of places, and you have to have a map so you don't go in circles or missing areas that you haven't tried. It doesn't need to be perfect as long as you have some record of where you've been and what you've found, as well as where you found it. Examine things you find and try to remember that most problems have solutions that require no help than some careful thought and a little common sense. That's all you gotta do, just some common sense, or type help. No, not the first survival video game. That would be, I believe, Wilderness Campaign was one of the first. I have to look back to determine if it really is a survival, because it was a text only. And it's kind of pushing the boundaries of what do you consider survival? Because now that I played every single game up to this point, when someone asks me what is the first of genre, I'm like, well, depends on how you want to phrase it. You know, like a first-person shooter. When was the first first-person shooter? There's so many variations of gray of what you would consider a first-person shooter, so it's hard to tell. So same thing for survival. All right, so they break down some of the verbs we can use in the game. Oh, and look, it does have help. What a manual. Trouble getting past the soldier at the steps. The soldier is corruptible. Can't get from beneath the collapsed building. Someone is searching. So they're giving you little hints. That's nice. So we could refer to the manual for the little snippet we'll be playing. So here you go. The 2 different versions, one in England, one in what we're going to be playing now. So here we go. This is Earthquake San Francisco 1906 by Jim Pearson, Adventure International, March 1982. And the other ones we've seen by Jim Pearson adds effects to the text adventure game. So it's not just text. There'd be like little flashes on the screen or changing the color. So there you go, San Francisco, 1906. Here we go. We got visible items, water bills. We're in a plush hotel room. A door is east of us. Oh, wait. Does this mean we're going to be experiencing the earthquake? Are they going to make the screen shake like they did before? Let's try get bills. Oh, wait. It says wad of bills. Okay, get wad of bills. There we go. Oh, you had to be specific. So we're in the plush tilt. We have a door to the east. So if we go east, what happens? Oh, we got to open the door. Open door. Door is locked. Wait, so what else is in the hotel room? The first puzzle is getting out of the room. We got a dresser and calendar here. Okay. Open dresser. You can't. What? Why can't you open it? What about pull? Dresser. I don't understand. Unlock door. Key. I'm just going to pretend I have it. No, I don't have a key. Get door. Anything get, I guess, has to be a visible item. Now, this one, like I explained before, there wasn't a walkthrough to look up because whenever you look this up, it thinks you want the history of the earthquake, San Francisco, 1906, instead of the game itself. There's a video of some people doing long plays of it. So it is out there, but there's not anything in written text that I could find of the walkthrough of this one. Okay, so we're now in 1982 for real. Buying the game, going home, and then experiencing the frustration of how do you get to go where you need to go. So if the only door is east, we have a dresser. Look, dresser. And envelopes here. Get envelope. Wait, what? Open envelope. You can't. What? Take envelope. Are you kidding me? Usually we don't get this stumped on the simple things on these games. The other ones that Jim Pearson did were working pretty well. So an envelope's here. Take the envelope or look. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you understand what we just had to do? You had to not only see that there's an envelope there, you had to look at the envelope, and then there's a letter in the envelope. So now we have a visible item of the letter. So now we could say get letter. Got it. And now we can read letter. And it says, deliver the money today, Portman Hotel, Oakland, or your wife dies. Oh my gosh. Wait, so is this the earthquake in San Francisco? Or do we also have to get our kidnapped wife up for ransom? There you go. That's what Jim Pearson usually does. There's a little wrench in there, making it difficult. Man, so we just had 2 games so far that are someone was kidnapped. We got to go rescue him, all in one night. All right, so we have dresser. Let's look again. Where's that key to get out of here? The envelope's there. The door to the side. We have the money. Look room. Dresser and calendar. Okay, look calendar. It's 1906. Thanks, calendar. Look room. She'll probably die from the earthquake, right? Best leave your wife. They don't have morals and ethics in video games yet. Dresser and calendar are here. Plush hotel room. Door is east. Yeah, so I'm already stumped in the beginning, and this would take a little bit of time in 1982. If I had this game, I would be spending a lot more than a little snippet we play for the show on the live stream. And you'd be asking friends, family, grandmother, grandparents for ideas of what to type in, and eventually you'd get it. I do like how the Venture series of Jim Pearson is split up with visible items on top, what you see as the location, and then your inventory is all displayed on the screen. And it doesn't go away. It doesn't scroll up on top. So it makes it a little bit easier to play, at least. I'll give it that. But I'll still say Earthquake San Francisco. This is the non-graphical version. We are going to see the graphic ones later. I'll still say about average for the time, around 3 stars up to this point. Yeah, I could see 2 as well, Chiptune, definitely. That would be bad. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. Yeah, we're still on Atari home computer. This is the Eliminator. Didn't plan this, folks. Of all the computers in a row, we have everything that we're playing. It just happened to be an Atari night. So this is the Eliminator for the Atari home computer. We've seen it on other systems as well. Let's take a look at the box for the Eliminator. The TRS-80 version was by Wayne Westmoreland and Terry Gilman, which that was awesome. The Apple version was John Anderson, and then this is Steve Coleman that did this one. Eliminator. The back of the box only shows the Apple screenshot and TRS-80 screenshot. So it looks like Steve Coleman did this one. Way to go, Steve. Yeah, every platform has been different, and this is the first time we've seen it on Atari. You can see the video over on the left side. So for other versions, we have Let's go. It's the Eliminator on your Atari home computer in March 1982. Every version we played was awesome, so I'm expecting this one to be pretty cool too. The video snapshot on the left side looked good. Yes, and joystick control into Jack 1. We're ready. Does it work right off the bat with the joystick? Oh, okay, red button. Oh, it does. Red button's in, I'm in. We're playing it. And they switched it up again. It's not a Defender clone. This is horizontally scrolling automatically, but I have a different control where I'm tilting my plane up and down and firing. Oh man, it feels great though. Can I go to the top? No, I can't. I gotta blow up if I go to the top. It looks like it's slowly building something. Oh, okay, no, it's just this. Yeah, it is. The top of the screen is going down lower and lower. What a cool concept. You have a game that's meant to be like Defender, and you have several different people on several different home computers develop it, and you just let them do whatever they want. I don't know if it's going to pan out for everything. Is that a power-up? Whoa, what did I pick up? I got an extra life, so maybe it was an extra life at the top of the left screen. I just can't see this concept working very well to just have different developers go do whatever they want to do for the game and expect them all to be good, because everything on Eliminator has all been different styles of game. Look, we got different enemies to fight. And I think I'm running out of fuel. Yeah, at the top of the screen, I don't... Now, last time we played a fuel game, I was blowing up the fuel instead of... Oh, I'm back up again. Okay, so the top middle is displaying fuel. We didn't have the manual for this version on the Atari, I don't believe, right? Yeah, so no manual for this one. The control is excellent, though. Yeah, didn't the Coco allow you to go up? Or we haven't seen... Oh, maybe we haven't seen the Coco version yet, where you could aim up and down. Oh, man. That went fast. Yeah, and you got the freedom to move around the playing field. Up, down, left, and right. Wow. Okay, that makes sense. We'll be seeing it next year, whenever we get to next year. Yeah, you can tell a lot of time and effort went into this one. Yeah, this is a blast. Very nice. Now, with the nuance of it and the fact that we didn't get any... Did we get any manuals for this one? Oh, there we go. We got the advertisement flyer. Very cool. Atari, Apple, and TRS-80 of the Eliminator. Great artwork for the advertisement, featuring spectacular, super sharp graphics and sound. You heard and saw it here. All right, let's say for the Eliminator, of all the games we've seen to this point, 3.5 stars, above average. Not pushing super hard limits because it's not having different levels or having you have something else extra to go for. The horizontal scrolling is smooth, controls are excellent. So there's the Eliminator for the Atari home computer. Let's see what our next game is. We're next going to the IBM. This is Executive Suite, which I don't even know. Is that a game? I'm not sure. Yeah, there wasn't as much interaction, and so I still say above average considering every other game or shooter out there that you can play on the home computer. It's pretty good. That's true. They were just kind of wandering around, yeah. All right, so let's take a look at the box for Executive Suite. This is gray flannel fun. The best thing about being on top is you can spend my time playing Executive Suite from gray flannel. And then we flip it over the back. Rise to the challenge of rising to the Executive Suite at Mighty Microcomputer Corporation. It's a game of wits and wit. You'll need plenty of horse sense and sense of humor. When Malcolm Farnsworth III, the president, storms into your office demanding to know why his pet project hasn't been completed on schedule, or why Joyce Stern, the attractive VP of administration, suggests a decidedly non-business trust after work, or, well, you just play the game to find out what other surprises are in store. So what is this, a business simulation game? That we get to be part of a microcomputer company? That's a cool concept. We have the manual, too. Let's check out the manual for Executive Suite. This is the career planning aid. I want to be a decision maker, but I can't decide where to start. Now, games that are managerial or business simulators are not new to the channel. We've seen plenty. So I want to see what kind of angle this game takes it. So this is a manual deciding different decisions you're going to be making during the game. In the stressful grind of day-to-day business, you can sometimes lose sight of what it really makes life worthwhile besides money. Fortunately, there's a solution. Executive Suite. The ideal diversion for those days when traffic is especially thick outside, your work is tied up in word processing, your boss is unreasonable, or you don't want to rush home to whomever, or when increasing your psychic income seems more important than hustling for another raise. So this is they're selling it as a game. I thought it was software, looking at the front of the box. Maybe we do order room service. That'd be great. What is MMC? The mighty Microcomputer Corporation is emerging as a leader in microcomputer industry. Very funny that it's 1982. In the company's 4 years of existence, its sales have grown almost as rapidly as its press release and personnel. MMC is the apple of Wall Street's eye. If MMC can stay on top of the wave, the sky's the limit. So I'm guessing you're going to make decisions to make the company better, or is it yourself rising the ranks? Your objective is simple: to become president of mighty Microcomputer Corporation, to sit in the executive suite and pull in the big bucks. Which would be what, 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year? You'll find the goal easier to state than achieve. It will entail surviving the initial interview, rising through middle management, maneuvering around every shifting world of the corporate entry. Your worth should increase along the way, but the big gains are made in the executive suite. So executive suite, you score points in using different ways, like solving problems. And it looks like throughout the game, you're going to see how you're doing, referring to the lump sum of your net worth. And I guess that's your points. So here we go. They have the MMC company policy. Executive Suite is a game for decision makers. It begins with a job interview. After you finish the job interview, then the game is going to give you multiple choice answers to choose from, and you select from those multiple choice answers. So interesting idea. How well it plays out, let's see. Here we go. It's time to play Executive Suite by Armonk Corporation. At some point at the beginning of March 1982. There it is, Armonk, which I believe maybe was the publisher for it. All right, so spacebar to continue. Welcome to Mighty Microprocessor Corporation. Please press spacebar to continue. As you enter the MMC building, the receptionist, Angie, smiles as if she knows you. Angie asks you if you're new to Mighty Microcomputer Corporation. Yes, we are brand new. We don't want to continue a career. Angie's eager to help you get started. She asks if you desire an initial job interview. Yes, we do. We're ready for the job interview. Angie happily directs you to the personnel department. See, presentation for this game is awesome. So we're at the personnel manager, Simon Woodstock. It's good to see you. Try to relax. I'm going to ask you some questions, hopefully provide some answers to how you might fit into MMC. What is your first name? Last person in chat was Chiptune. Chiptune, a good name. I like it. Chiptune's a good start. What's your last name? Oh, they want last names here? All right, I guess you'll be Chronicles. With your last name Chronicles, what part of the country are you from? We'll make it East Coast. Oh, East. Very good. MMC does a lot of business in that area. What's your town and hometown and state? Oh my gosh. All right, we'll do Albany, I guess. New York? Do they need both? I guess that'll work. Growing up in the East, where did you go to college? Oh, we'll say State University. What was the name of your school? Let's do South Harmon Institute of Technology. What did you study at SHIT? Girls, boys, what? They have studying girls and boys as a study. Business administration, engineering, or liberal arts. So just for fun, we'll say girls to see if that affects the gameplay. What did you do in your studies? Great, scored all the time. Summa cum laude. Dean's list. Could have done better, but for all the parties. Who cares? I graduated. Let's do who cares? I graduated. Did you go to the graduate school, or did you have enough education after SHIT? We jumped school to make work for money. We'll say that. Schooling is an important qualification, but so is work experience. How many years of prior work experience have you had? 20. I saw on a sports page that the Giants won. Are you a sports enthusiast? What interests you? We'll say competitive drinking. I have a few personal questions. I hope you don't mind cooperating. How old are you? We'll say 45. What is your sex? Undecided. We decided we're male. What's your current marital status? We'll say you are married. Oh, I said single, I think. After all this talk, I'm feeling very comfortable about your application to MMC. Just to see if I'm on track, how would you describe yourself? See, now, we played a handful of other games like this that just have nothing but decisions, but this is the interview process. So the beginning, Chiptune, either you read my mind, I just saw in the chat that you looked back. Yeah, right? Maybe we just read 45 at the same time. How would you describe yourself? Let's say party person. Oh, work is a hobby. I got it. 5. There's no question, Chiptune. You make an impressive applicant. Let's see what entry-level positions MMC might have available for you. The economy is fair at the moment. Given the economy and your background, you may apply for the following entry-level positions. So it looks like they have sales trainee, accountant, personal clerk, skilled assembler. Let's do that. Congratulations, Chiptune. You have the job of skilled assembler. The following came to your morning electronic mail. Employee change form, Mighty Microprocessor. There we go. Skilled assembler. Perks, you own a desk, 2-week vacation, nice, MMC medical plan, and keychain. Rumor of temporary workload on hits concurrently with an offer for assembler union local to become an organizer. Management has made a strong stand against union organization, but layoffs are fueling the membership drive. Do you take the union offer to protect your job or decline the union offer? Let's take the job. You've increased security at your present level while antagonizing management. Advancement will be more difficult. You consider Jimmy Hoffa's career and take a low-profile, organized approach. Management reacts negatively to your union involvement. They pressure you on performance and productivity. Your reaction is mollify them. Militant stance. Let's do militant stance. You refuse to be pushed and use your influence to protect your position. Unfortunately, you will not be at the top of the list for advances at MMC. Management members start muttering, "Why do you think they call it the Soviet Union?" All right, so this game is lengthy. It looks like it's more impressive than the other one we played that was just, I think it was the party game where you just were in school. But this one is and it's not just a business simulation or a stock game. It's personal. Like, what are you going to do in the company? So, cool approach. I'd say for all the games we've seen to this point, Executive Suite is awesome. For 1982, I want to say even more than above average. This one's a 4-star game for the content. It's a choose your own adventure kind of style. Yeah, I'll say 3.5. It's still above average. I wouldn't. It's tricky to go higher as high as 4, but it's still really cool for the time. So there you go, Executive Suite. Yeah, 3.5. All right, let's press forward and see our next game. It's the Commodore VIC-20, and this is Fly Snatcher. Let's take a look at Fly Snatcher. We have no artwork, no box. We have some screenshots, and for other versions, this was first released by PR Software, and then was picked up later by Abrasco. So we're going to play the Abrasco version, which is identical. This is by Stuart Hall. Way to go, Stuart. At some point at the beginning of March 1982. Welcome to Abrasco. Fly Snatcher. Joystick. Yes, let's do joystick. J for joystick. We're ready. I wonder if Stuart put those sound effects in to let us know there's something's happening in the background. It works. Thanks, Stuart. We didn't have a manual, so I don't know what's happening. Sound effects are awesome, though. All right, I'm in. It had a quick loading screen, but I'm supposed to go around, and I'm guessing... Okay, those are bushes that I can't get to, but... Can I go diagonally? No, just up, down, left, and right. And I'm getting all the flies while avoiding the cat? Or the skull and crossbones, which means death. Alright, did I get them all? I think that's all the flies. Maybe I go for you. Or not. Crazy death screen, though. Part of me thinks I won. I became death. You have met your doom in the depths of a weasel's stomach. Oh, it was a weasel! During your short life, you devoured 5 harmless flies. Press a key to replay. Okay, so this means key on the keyboard. Got it. Yeah, so this one is using the joystick of the VIC-20, and it works pretty well. It's like playing with a 4-way joystick in the arcade. A surprisingly arcade-like game for the VIC-20. Nice. Yeah, I give it to the sound effects. It's pretty good. Obviously taking tropes from... are we playing like a maze game? But it looks like no buttons. All I'm doing is moving. Come on. Did it just jump at me? Did the weasel jump? Wait. Now I finished the level. And it goes on to level 2. Very cool. Oh yeah, Fly Snatcher is pretty cool. I'd say of all the games we've seen to this point, this is a 3-star game. Perfectly average for 1982. Very nice. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's press forward and see our next game.
These families are learning
yes,
about home computers.
The event of the night, I would say. It's still on the Atari home computer like all the other games. This is Formula 1 Racing. Really excited to show you this one. The reason this one's a big one is because Formula 1 Racing is made by a certain developer. Who is that in the middle there? Sid Meier. This is the very first video game Sid Meier ever did under the publisher Acorn Software Products. If we flip it over on the back, gentlemen and ladies, start your engines. Your Atari 800 can be a Formula 1 racing machine. Learn to drive your Atari just like a high-powered racer and take it to the Indy 500, Monza, Watkins Glen, Monaco, or the Pinnacle. The specifically created killer race course where you have to use every bit of experience and luck you can muster to stay alive. Learn the special high-speed skills you'll need to beat the other cars, which are computer-driven. So I believe this is only a one-player game. You only play against computer players. Yes, very, very historic, very difficult to get to run as well. But you can see what this has. 5 different racetracks, 4 skill levels, day or night racing, oil slicks and trees, 1 to 10 lap races, individual lap times for each car, fully scrolled race course, realistic gear shifting and acceleration, graphics and realistic engine sounds. Well, we'll see about the engine sounds.
Spanish, German, French, Italian.
Yeah, this was before Microprose. So Microprose has not been founded yet. This is the game he made before Microprose. But bear in mind, this is 1982. Microprose, the company, will be established, and we'll see some games for them in this year, 1982. Here we go. Let's see what other artwork we have for Formula 1. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk. And you notice Sid Meier is emblazoned all over the place. He was on the front of the box and the 5 1/4 floppy disk with some examples of screenshots there. Yeah, we've seen, I think, 2 or 3 titles by Acorn, which not related to Acorn computing in the UK. All right, we have the manual. Formula 1 Racing, a joystick game. Nice for the Atari. Test your driving skill, racing tactics. Race car competes against 3 other computer cars. The final elapsed time determines the winner, including... okay, all the stuff we read on the back of the box. Specifications, you need 32K to play this, and you also need the 810 disk drive for it. Oh, well, the games he had before were not commercially released, so this is his very first commercial released game. How do you load the program? We don't need to know that. We spent a lot of time on that. Okay, the first screen allows you to select everything else, and we're going to go through that when we boot the game up. If we scroll to game display, the top of the screen shows you information like the lap number, the time, the gear, RPM. Reminder of your screen shows what portion of the racetrack on which you are driving. The dark portion of the track are oil slicks. 3 other cars in the screen are your opponents. You'll be judged on how well you perform against them. Oh yes, you need basic for this. Oh yes. Incredibly. How do you drive your race car? Now, we're going to be using the Atari VCS joystick. Steering's controlled with just taking the joystick and moving the joystick left and right. It's relative controls depending on where the car is. If you want to accelerate, you move the joystick forward. If you want to slow down, you move the joystick back. And then if you let off the joystick and push the red button, that changes gears. So we're going to be going 12,000 RPMs, it says, at least. And I don't know if it's, I think it is hybrid, because I don't think we're going to be using basic, but it's not the only thing that we, that I don't think is used for the game. All right, so there's the manual for Formula One. Let's go. This one is so tricky to get to run because you need to use basic revision A. Oh, what just happened? I messed something up. Please don't crash yet. I think we got it. Please go. This is the other basic version. That was the buggy one, or they call it OSA for the Atari home computer. And so it's really difficult to get to load. Most emulators, you can't run it unless you know which cart of BASIC to run and load the image in while the game's already started up. And something else I wanted to point out was I had heard through the grapevine that Robin Williams met Sid Meier, and he was the one that apparently convinced him to blazon everything with Sid Meier, developed by Sid Meier, or, you know, Sid Meier's Civilization. It's always had Sid Meier's name on there because he's a very down-to-earth, deadpan guy, simple guy, not showy. But we've already seen this game, Formula One, has Sid Meier on the box and the 5 1/4 floppy disk, so I'm wondering when he started doing that, putting his name on everything. All right, we're in. You have different tracks you can pick from. Let's go with a killer track. And then what difficulty do we want? Let's go amateur, starting off with that one. And then you can pick the select button to do different laps, and then the option key on your computer will go for a day or night drive. So we'll do a day drive because we've played lots of night driving games. And then go. Really excited for this. What is Sid Meier's game, commercial game, going to be like? What is it going to really be like? Is it going to be good? I'm a big fan of Civilization and later titles that Sid Meier's has done. Oh, here we go. We're in. I'm pushing forward on the joystick, switching gears to gear 2. You have to let off and then go to gear 3. So now we're in third gear. Go fourth. Uh-oh, bottlenecked it up there. Oh, gosh. Oh, when you crash, you die. I hit the tree and I'm dead. All right, let's just go for an indie track then. And it still says Sid Meier's over the top. All right, we'll go 3 laps again. If you're not familiar with relative controls, it takes a little bit getting used to. But the bizarre thing is the acceleration, moving the joystick to go forward, and then you have to be moving the forward and turning to the left or right. It's almost like it should have been programmed for a wheel of some kind instead of the VCS joystick. Go. Second gear. Go, 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 go. It almost feels like I'm playing the Dragster game on the Atari. Fourth gear. Okay, I can just drive through the cars. Nice. Fifth gear. Yeah, the turning takes a little bit of time to get used to because I cannot accelerate and turn at the same time. But the idea that we're driving around on a open track, I can't think of any other. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Rally X that we saw in the arcades and then ported to different home computers. But this is essentially, it feels like I'm playing Micro Machines actually, a top-down racer that's scrolling all over the place. And I'm playing on the indie track, which is just the loop that goes around. Let's go. Can we go to sixth gear? Let's see. Looks like fifth gear might be the max. But you can hear the sound of the gear shifts changing. Yes, first place. Yeah, maybe the paddle control, but it says joystick to plug in, so I haven't tested it out to use the paddle to see if it's fine-tuned, but you can see the frame rate. It's not running like super buttery smooth, but I wouldn't expect that. This is a really fun game. It is only one player, though. You have to play against the computer, and the other cars, you know, you can't play with a buddy. But for the experience of this kind of game, it's kind of bizarre to see this on a home computer. I dig it. That is really impressive. Now, it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but once you get the feeling for the controls, the idea that you can play a game that allows you to switch from going from gear to gear is awesome. So for Formula One racing, of all the games we've seen to this point, the first game we've ever seen by Sid Meier here on the channel, what would you give that one of the titles we've seen? I'm willing to say 4, but because of the one player only, I'm going to say it's still above average game. I don't know if I can go as high as 4. And the controls themselves, the turning left and right, it wasn't super smooth. You can get used to it, you know, downshifting and so forth. It's kind of like a halfway between, was it a simulation or not? Yeah, so I'll say 3.5 stars. Thank you, Sid Meier. That's pretty cool.
We've only won.
All right, so now we put our video game playing on pause. It's still March 1982. We got a lot more games to play. Where we'll go and what we'll see, we do not know. That's it for today, and like I always say, Sid Meier, you got to check him out. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.